Something just happened in Seattle that has never happened before in NFL history. Not once. Not ever. And it could shake the way teams negotiate forever. But that's not even the wildest part. Because behind the scenes, a fan favorite name could return, a mysterious injury is causing concern, and the Seahawks may be hiding more than they're telling us. Buckle up. Because this isn't just a news update, it's the storm before the storm. The Seahawks front office just broke a long-standing NFL rule, and they did it loud and proud. Nick Emanwari, the 35th overall pick, not a first-rounder, just signed a fully guaranteed contract worth $11.6 million over 4 years. Every single penny. Locked in. And let's be clear, this is unheard of. No team has ever guaranteed that kind of money to a player drafted outside the first round. It's bold, it's risky, and it sends a message, not just to Emanwari, but to the entire league. This guy isn't just another rookie. The Seahawks are treating him like a franchise cornerstone. John Schneider almost jumped back into the first round to get him, even after selecting Zabel in the top 20. That tells you how obsessed they are with this kid. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, built like a linebacker but moves like a cornerback. He can hit like a box safety and cover like a deep one. He's a shapeshifter, the perfect weapon for Mike McDonald's complex, hybrid defense. So, what's the plan for Emanwari? Well, officially, he won't start week 1. They want to ease him in, use him as the third safety in certain packages, slowly ramp up his snaps. But come on. We all know how this goes. When a guy signs a fully guaranteed deal, the clock is already ticking. The locker room sees it, coaches feel it, teammates hear it. This isn't just a second-round safety. This is a priority. But here's where things get a little uncomfortable. Why did the Seahawks feel the need to break tradition and guarantee everything to get him to sign? Sources say the tension between the rookie class and the front office was building for weeks. Negotiations were stalling. There were threats of holdouts. The energy was tense. And just when things seemed stuck, Seattle flipped the table. They made history. And like dominoes, other teams started reacting. The Browns and Texans followed suit for picks 33 and 34. But it didn't last. The pattern stopped right after pick 35. Why? Because pick 36, Cleveland's Quinton Judkins, was arrested, accused of assault. He's out of training camp. The guarantee trend may have just crashed into a wall. So now, we're left with this question. Did the Seahawks start something smart or something dangerous? All eyes are on Emanwari now. Because if he lives up to this contract, he redefines what it means to be a second-rounder. But if he struggles, this could become one of the riskiest moves Seattle's made in years. Seahawks fans, I need to hear from you. Do you think Nick Emanwari was worth all that money? Is he the future of our defense? Or a gamble that might backfire? And more importantly, should the NFL start making more guaranteed contracts like this? Or is Seattle playing with fire? Drop your take in the comments below. Rate your confidence in this move from 1 to 10, and don't hold back. This is just the beginning. And what's coming next could change the entire season. Let's be honest, in the NFL, chances like this don't come often. But the Seahawks might be staring at one right now. While most people were looking at draft picks and rookies, Seattle quietly made a move that could change the entire shape of their offense. And it starts with a name you probably didn't expect to hear, Najee Harris. Yes, a former Pro Bowl running back. A veteran who's rushed for over 1,000 yards in each of his first 4 seasons. A leader who brings more than just stats. He brings toughness, energy, and a voice in the locker room. And guess what? He's now on Seattle's radar. Harris is currently with the Chargers, but things have gotten complicated there. He's dealing with a strange off-field injury, a minor one caused by fireworks, and while it isn't serious, it slowed him down during the preseason. And that's all the opening the Seahawks might need. The Chargers have 2 rookies rising fast. Najee is now competing for a job in a crowded room, and LA has let it be known. They're open to offers. So what does this mean for the Seahawks? It means a perfect chance to grab a proven weapon without a long-term risk. Najee is on a short one-year deal. That means Seattle can bring him in, see how he fits, and move on if it doesn't work. No strings attached. But if it does work, he could be exactly what this offense needs. With Tyler Lockett gone, this locker room has a leadership void. Sam Darnold is stepping into the spotlight, but he needs help, especially in the backfield. Najee is the type of back who doesn't need to be taken off the field. He can run between the tackles, catch passes, block, and take pressure off the quarterback. Imagine this. Play-action passes with Harris holding the linebackers. Darnold scans the field. And downfield? You've got DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Noah Fant ready to burn defenses. One good back changes everything. The reads, the tempo, the playbook. And this wouldn't just be a football move. It'd be a message. It would tell the fans and the players in the locker room that Seattle isn't waiting to rebuild. They're trying to win now. Sure, there's risk. Harris is 26. Running backs sometimes hit a wall after that age. His injury, while not major, is still a concern. But that's why this is the moment to strike. If the Seahawks wait too long, someone else will grab him, and he'll make their offense dangerous. But Najee isn't the only name floating around. Another veteran is back in the conversation, and this one already has history with Seattle. Jadeveon Clowney. That's right. The same Clowney who once wore our colors and brought chaos off the edge. He's a free agent again after the Panthers released him. And Seattle is watching closely. You can say what you want about Clowney. He's polarizing, sure, but when he's healthy, he's a game changer. Fast, violent, and disruptive. There are very few defenders in the league who can do what he does when he's locked in. And here's the twist. This might be the perfect time to bring him back. He knows the system. He knows the city. And McDonald could unleash him in ways we've never seen before, part edge, part interior, part chaos engine. It's not official yet. But the fact that his name is even being mentioned again says a lot. The Seahawks aren't just looking to rebuild, they're looking for players who can step in right now and flip the script. The moves are bold. The risks are real. But sometimes, that's exactly what separates the great teams from the ones still searching. And what's coming next? It's even more unexpected. A sudden absence in camp might be the biggest story of them all, and it's tied to a deeper tension brewing inside the building. How many times can a heart break before it hardens? In Seattle, it feels like we've been asking that question for years, especially when it comes to one of our most important defenders. Just as the front office explores bold moves to ignite the roster, another gut punch hits us in the same spot we've been bruised before. And this time, it could change everything. There are names that arrive with noise, and others that linger like echoes. Jadeveon Clowney has always been both. His first stint in Seattle was a collision of raw talent and unmet expectations. There were unforgettable moments, big hits, drive-killing pressures, but also frustration, inconsistency, and ultimately, goodbye. But now, the context is completely different. The Seahawks' front seven is shifting. Promising talents like Boy Mafe and Derek Hall are stepping up, but they're still learning the speed of the game at its cruelest. New defensive coordinator Aiden Doer is building a system that demands chaos, non-stop pressure, rotation-heavy fronts, and unrelenting motor. And that's exactly where a 32-year-old Clowney could find his lane, not as a savior, as a weapon. His 2024 numbers won't dazzle you on paper, 5.5 sacks, but go deeper. Tackles for loss, quarterback hits, interior disruptions, snap efficiency in sub-packages. He may not be built for every down anymore, but when used in bursts, Clowney still shakes offensive lines. He still commands double teams. He still forces errors. He still intimidates. More than that, He plays angry when he has something to prove. And that matters. This time, he wouldn't return as a headline signing. He'd come back with a chip on his shoulder, in a supporting role, chasing redemption and purpose. Exactly the kind of emotional fire McDonald wants to weaponize. A situational destroyer with no illusions of being the guy. Just a role player with elite experience and playoff hunger. And no draft pick needed? That's catnip for John Schneider. Still, we can't ignore the doubts. Clowney has been on 5 teams in 6 years. His body has taken hits. His motor isn't what it used to be. But as a closer, a third down specialist, he still brings fear. And when used smartly, fear changes games. But while Seattle considers this reunion, something far more familiar and far more painful is unfolding again. Another injury. Another key defender. Another gut check. Ukena Nusu has started 2025 camp on the PUP list. It's the kind of news that feels like a whisper and a scream all at once. Officially, just a minor knee surgery, a cleanup, nothing to panic about. But ask any Seahawks fan what minor really means in this town, and you'll hear the sighs before the words. This isn't new. Nusu has been a spark plug since his first snap in 2022. Remember that debut against Denver? 7 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and Defensive Player of the Week honors. He was electric. But ever since, his story has been a cruel loop, flashes of dominance, followed by long, painful silences. In 2023, he missed 11 games with a torn pec. In 2024, a dirty preseason chop block, then an MCL sprain, then a quad tear, 3 different injuries, 3 gaping holes in the defense. Now, the knee. Even if this time it's just a cleanup, he's already missed the crucial early days of camp, days where Mike McDonald installs the timing, chemistry, and communication that power his blitz-heavy, twitch-reliant scheme. Nusu isn't just a linebacker, he's a switch in the circuit. And right now, that switch isn't flipping on. And that's the emotional gut punch here. Because no matter how bold the front office gets, with guaranteed rookie deals, potential trades, or comeback veterans, it doesn't matter unless your core guys are on the field. And every time Nusu disappears, the rest of the defense has to patch itself back together. The Seahawks are building something daring, but they're doing it while dragging some very real ghosts behind them. And if things don't change soon, those ghosts might catch up. There's a reason Ukena Nusu matters beyond the stat sheet. He's the guy that keeps things from falling apart mid-drive. He doesn't shout, doesn't dance after sacks, but on the sidelines and inside the huddle, he's the quiet signal caller, the positioning anchor, the glue guy, the one who reads a shifting offense in seconds and gets everyone lined up before the ball snaps. That kind of leadership is rare. And when it's missing, everything starts to feel unsteady. His absence cuts deeper than most. Because for Seahawks fans, this isn't new pain, it's old pain reopened. Since the collapse of the Legion of Boom, Seattle has been searching for something solid in the front 7. They've tried new coaches, new schemes, different players. And still, every single year, the story plays out the same. Someone important gets hurt. The chemistry falls apart. The big plays turn into missed tackles. And another season gets flushed down the drain by December. So now, the question that nobody wants to ask becomes impossible to ignore. Can we still count on Ukena Nusu long-term? Or is it time to prepare for life without him? And that's not a knock on his talent. It's a sad reality. Because if this defense is ever going to take the next step, it needs to do something it hasn't done in years. Stay healthy. Especially when it comes to the pass rush. November football isn't about splashy headlines. It's about depth, toughness, grit, and consistency. And with Nusu, no matter how much we believe in him, the truth is painful. He just hasn't been available when it counts. Even Ukena himself has admitted the emotional toll. In a recent interview, he opened up, said it's been frustrating, that sometimes he feels like he's fighting a losing battle, that the knee injury was caused by a dirty hit, that the torn pec robbed him of confidence, and that all he wants, just once, is to play a full season without his body betraying him. He deserves that, but the team? They have to move forward as if that dream might never come true. That's why the rotation has to be deeper. That's why this clowny conversation is happening. It's not just about nostalgia, it's about survival, about plugging the holes before they become fatal. And yet, even with the injuries, even with the questions, one thing hasn't changed: hope. Real Seahawks fans know what I mean. When you've seen the top, when you've heard the roar of CenturyLink shaking after a pick six, you don't let go of belief that easy. There's still something brewing in this team. You can feel it. Because this isn't just a new season, it's a new fight. They're not just adjusting. They're rebuilding a culture, piece by piece. A rookie contract that shocked the league. A possible Pro Bowler to change the offense. A hardened veteran like Clowney being considered to stabilize the trenches. And even as the injuries pile up again, this team refuses to fold. This isn't just a rebuild anymore. This is a rescue mission. A rescue of pride, of identity, of ambition. No, the Legion of Boom isn't walking back through that door, but the hunger? It's alive. And if you ever screamed from your couch during that 2013 playoff run, if you still believe defense wins championships, then buckle up, because Seattle's not done.